All right, the next live interview is called Whose Side Are You On? There are a lot of big disputes in the world, and politicians have to decide which side they want to be on. And the biggest, the oldest and the greatest of all disputes is the one between God and Satan. So, Graeme and Greg, whose side are you on in this epic dispute?
Well, God has our wholehearted support here.
Yes, I'm sure he's grateful for it.
It all started, really, because of the allegations made by Satan of wrongful dismissal. Satan started out as an angel working in heaven and turned out not to be very good at angeling and lost the job. And then he took his employer to a tribunal, and if you read the Milton report, where he describes what happened, him the almighty power hurled headlong flaming from the ethereal sky with hideous ruin and combustion down to bottomless perdition. Well, this frankly didn't happen.
All right, now let's just check. Which side are you on in this great dispute?
I don't need any lectures on religion. I can recite the Lord's Prayer backwards, let me say that. People might say it's surprising that a committed Christian like me should be supporting devil worship, but for me, Christianity isn't about Jesus and miracles. It's about summoning the Lord Lucifer to vanquish the earth with his army of demons, and I see no contradiction.
No contradiction there? Do you have the backing of your
Well, I want to make it absolutely clear I'm not against God. He's done some wonderful things. I just think it's time for a change. You probably think I'm just being the devil's advocate, but I feel strongly about this. First of all, let me tell you, I've met Satan a few times, and he's a bloody good bloke. He's consistently denied a British passport, and I think that's disgraceful.
Do you think, Greg, are you pro-God, pro-Satan, or just a pro?
Well, clearly, as my colleague stated, we have the wholehearted support of God. God is a registered voter. He is able to vote 3 times, of course.
Greg?
Satan is now a very bitter creature. You know, reduced from a cushy job in heaven, a lovely job, all the work he could do, and now reduced to presenting TFI Friday.
Satan was left chained on a burning lake. I think you should remember that.
Well, you can't chain somebody to a lake.
But honestly, Clive, who amongst us can put their hands up and say they have never slaughtered a goat at midnight and then pasted the blood over the naked body of Jean from accounts? I know I have. Well, I know you have.
A very fair point.
Graeme does very little else.
A very fair point. Move on to the vote now. How are you thinking at the moment? Do you think the red party's doing better, the blue party's doing better? Vote accordingly and vote now. Oh, and there we see the red party is 53% in the lead. The blue party is only at 47%. That seems to be remaining pretty static. So is that a worry to you?
No, we have reduced our negative lead there by some 3%, so we're moving in the right direction.
Anyway, let's move on to another round here, and it's called State of the Nation. And what we have to do here is see if our politicians are in touch with what makes Britain tick. And we've asked our audience a number of questions, and the politicians have to try and work out what the most popular answer would be to each of those questions. Jeremy, this is one I'd like you to do. What one thing makes Britain great?
I think one of the things that makes us great is our dislike of foreign food, and it clearly grates with foreign people when we order a plain omelette everywhere in the world. But, the thing that makes us great...
I have to hurry you because the millennium is approaching and we must...
Please, let me finish. The thing that makes us great...
I'd like to start.
The thing that makes us great is the Act of Union of 1700, which before that we were just Britain, we were just England.
Yes.
And then added to England were Wales and Scotland, who clearly hate us. And that's why we've created assemblies. In Scotland they have an assembly with tax-raising powers. In Wales they only get to have their own disco once a month. But yes, the thing that makes Britain great is the Act of Union.
Act of Union,
which I think
a clever, almost possibly too clever answer. Let's see the answer. We should have it displayed now. Sense of humour, 21%. So I don't think you're even close on that.
Well, I enjoy a laugh as much as the next German.
Yeah. So sense of humour. You've got a lovely cup of tea was second. I thought you might have guessed that. Somebody in the audience thought IKEA was what made it. All right, the second question we put to the audience, and this is one Graeme has to deal with. If one newspaper or magazine were to be abolished tomorrow, which one would you like it to be? So, Graeme, what do you think the audience guessed on that?
I think probably they would have liked to see removed from the top shelf some of those magazines like Penthouse and Playboy and Fiesta, although Clive tells me that one's gone off a bit lately.
Yeah. It wasn't the magazine that went off. But
But thinking a little further, I wanted the Sun newspaper. Well, no, you said newspaper, didn't you?
Yeah. Can I press you for an answer?
All right, I will go for Rupert Murdoch's organ.
So that's the Sun. So let's see how the audience voted. And the Sun. So well done. Well done, Graeme. Let's go on to the third question. I think this is for you, Tim. And the question was, what should we hunt instead of foxes?
Well, I'd have thought that was perfectly obvious. What finer sight could there be than the North Devon hunt? A crisp morning, and their red jackets setting off to hunt the thimble. Although,
I'm going.
no doubt we'll.
You're new to the programme. I hope you have another guess on that one.
We'll have the usual whinging from the thimble lobby, no doubt.
Who do you think the audience selected?
I'm going for Huntsman.
Huntsman. Let's see what the answer
was.
was.
And Yorkshireman.
And the answer is Huntsman. So well done. Who would have thought? In probably that meaningless ramble got to the right answer. So Huntsman was first, politicians was second, Americans featured quite highly, I have to say, but baby foxes was one suggestion. I was just making the odds a bit better. My contact lenses was another one that... and chat show host was another one that somebody said. Now, the fourth question was, what most annoys you about Americans? Greg. That's not the answer. That's who's going. What do you think? What do you think annoyed a British audience? Well, there's a few Brazilians in tonight as well. But what annoyed a British audience about Americans?
Well, to our Brazilian friends, I say oba oba. And I think in this country, what annoys people most about Americans is that we know how to complain, and we do, and that we're also very loud, and we tend to wear bum bags, or as they call them in my country, fanny packs.
Nominate one of those to see if you get it right or not.
What annoys people about Americans the most is that they come over here with their chocolate bars and their... No, what annoys people about Americans is that they're loud.
They're loud. Let's see if you're right. What was the answer? Too loud. Well done, Greg Proops. You could have gone... 28% thought too loud. Too fat was number 2, which obviously wouldn't apply to you. Country and Western music, for some reason, was high up there, which I rather like. They don't know what pants are.
They know what they are.
Don't take this personally, but another suggestion was they think they're hilarious. And another one suggested cults, though that might have been a misprint. Anyway, so that's well, I think you all did very well there, apart from Jeremy. As we go on to another round here, and it's called Hidden Agendas. It's, by way of being a new round, but we're going to involve the audience here. Can we have a question from the audience for Graeme and Jeremy? Oh, yes, are you there?
With the discovery of water on the moon, how do the panel see the future of space travel?
All right, water on the moon has been discovered. Will that affect space travel? Before you answer that, though, when I say hidden agenda, I'm going to hand you an envelope. There you are, Graeme. That's a blue one for you, a red one for Jeremy. And in that, you're going to discover that you are going to be promoting some cause or other in any question you're asked. And each side can try and guess what the hidden agenda is of the other side. So, Graeme, can you answer the question? Water has been discovered on the moon. How will that affect space travel?
The hydrogen in the water can be converted into rocket fuel, which will take us, it will provide us with a right to roam through the stars.
I see.
And this is vitally important because the fuels on Earth, the fossil fuels, are becoming depleted. Coal stocks are vanishing because, well, frankly, our coal has been eaten by foxes. They burrow into the earth, and they don't just eat a little bit. I mean, if you've ever seen a coal mine after a fox has been in it, feathers all over the place. Yeah. I think the race for space is as exciting as a fox hunt, you know. You should see us in the morning out there on our horses, cold, crisp morning, resplendent in our hunting pink, and then we gallop off home to get dressed, and then we're off. after the fox, blowing our kazoos, and what we must do is use our remaining coal to put a fox on the moon, then...
Ah.
I think it's something to do with foxes.
The Countryside Alliance. Well done, Tim Brooke-Taylor. That was...